today with a lovely journal that was so fun to make. And this is a design team project for Tracie Fox at Tracie Fox Creative and LoveJunk Journals, her Etsy shop. It is using one of her newer kits. Well, she's put out so many great kits lately that newer sounds not even right anymore, but called Fabric Swatches. And the minute I saw the kit, I was like, yes, I'm going to pull out all of my little tiny scraps and bits and pieces of fabric and put them into this. And so this is what happened. This is what happened. This is exactly the vision I had in my mind. So it is, I'm going to say roughly 6 by 9, although I don't have my measuring things and they're further away than I care to reach and grab right now. It is a hardcover journal. It has, I glued it down so that there would still be this texture because, you know, I'm me and my texture thing. So it's got this great hand feel, textured coffee stained muslin, and a tie that's a couple layers of fabric sewn and sewn and sewn back and forth. And then I put a piece of kind of snippety stuff on the edge of the spine. And it just says journal on front. And I have no idea how many pages are in this thing. Oh, but first we have to look at the yumminess on the edge, right? All the fabric and fabric on top and some fabric hanging out the bottom. There's just fabric. It's luscious. Okay, so inside we've got some pretty end papers and some little sewn fabric bits. There are little bits of collage and things all throughout here. Her kit comes with, you get fabric swatch tags that are, some are layered and some are not. I've put, and then she also has fabric swatch, a coordinating set of labels. So I've used those. It actually looks like somebody who's, you know, making fabric or choosing fabric for, you know, a company or for a design firm or something, because they've got little pieces of handwriting and some stapled on little swatches right on there. So I've coordinated some things to make tags. Right, and sewn around. I sewed and sewed and sewed. These button cards actually are from the Graphics Fairy, and they're layered. There's several of them. They're layered with different fabrics, and then they've got some polka dot dyed, although you can't really see the polka dots, index cards on the back, so you can definitely use them for journaling. And then these are just pieces of fabric, and everything has fabric layered on it, literally like everything. So, this is a page from the kit, and it's gorgeous. It's got the edges that make it look like, you know, the edges of a book, even though it is the edges of a book. Does that make any sense? Anyway, lots of exposed stitching throughout this book. And then lots of these, just like so, scraps of fabric, little clusters and strips along the edges of things. Fabric pockets. Some of these pages here are from the Graphics Fairy members site. And then I've done a couple of these, so they're just index cards, and there's a little stamp, a little date and time stamp, and then I put samples, and they're just stapled right on here. So like, it's like, you know, sample cards of fabric is what I was going for. And those are inside a fabric pocket. And then here is a big double tag. So, oh, you also get these little buttons, and in the kit, I glossy accented them, right, and cut them out so they're shiny, like actual buttons kind of, but the nice thing is they're flat because it's just paper printed with some glossy accents. And then they're layered with fabric behind them, so these are all different scraps of fabric and then sewn over. See? And then there's a fabric pocket with a label and another one of those little glossy accent buttons, and then some pieces of scrap paper in there. So that's a big tag. You get some pockets, and on the fronts of the pockets I've made some little fabric clusters, and then there's inventory tags on the inside. And my thought is, like, this is somebody who, you know, chooses fabrics for you know, clothing designers or something like along those lines. Then there are some little just fabric swatches, flip ups kind of just stapled in here in a few different places. More from the kit. Here's a little fabric pocket with a few of the little fabric-y tea cards that are in her kit. And that's sewn around and around. And then another one of the button cards. Here's another little swatch of fabric. Center of the signature is a page from the kit. Oops. More fabric. I just love the fabric clusters because they have such a great hand feel. You know, I love texture. Some more fabric layered on and sewn on. Here's another one of those little clusters, and this one has one of the little buttons, the little faux glossy accent buttons. Here is a collage tag that I have glued or sewn on, some buttons and fabric. This is fabric. Everything's just got fabric. If it looks like fabric on the camera, it's fabric. And then some labels. So this one's a tuck spot. Here's another little swatchy fabric flip up. And a pocket with another tag with fabric. It was fun doing this. You know how much fabric I got to just rip? I love ripping fabric. Big pocket with some cluster on the edge here, and another one of those little sample cards, right? And then a big layered up fabric kind of faux quilted, yeah. A giant button, glossy accent button, and then one of those button cards. Another big fabric cluster, some lace dyed paper. Then I did do a couple of altered paper clips as well that have some of those little, they have tiny little faux buttons on there. And then this is some labels and tags and fabric. I wonder how many times I'm going to say fabric in this video. Way more than I need to. More of it. Some exposed stitching on these pockets made out of, you guessed it, fabric. And they come with, the kit comes with some little tea cards. And then some cute little mini tags. Then this altered paper clip just has some fabric samples kind of attached up under there, and I did that because I thought, you know, you could put them wherever you wanted to, or create with them, or if you wanted to cut them into scraps. And this one I just stamped on, but that way I thought, you know, I'm putting so much of it in here, this way you could use it and put, you know, do what you wanted with it. This is a little flip out envelope and a button card from the kit. Another one of the pockets with some fabric cluster, and then a little butterfly from the kit on there, and another inventory tag. More kind of edging. And then at the end of that signature, there is a big pocket here with some measuring tape paper and a fabric ruffle and a little dress form in the background, and then a pocket tag here with clusters and layers of fabric on there. Another button card and another one of those like faux quilted triangle pockets. This is an actual like sewn up fabric flip there. And another little stapled on fabric samples. This would be perfect if you were like a quilter or a sewer. What a fun book to keep track of your projects in or something. And then I tried to save as many of these as I could once I kind of learned I was going to be doing this, or figured out I wanted to do this book. These are those little pieces on the sides of fabric that give you like the numbers and their die lots and whatever. So I tried to save a few of those. So you might see a few of those through this book too. Page from the kit, some lace stained paper. And I like how you can see all the edges of the fabric kind of laying throughout as you go through. The center of this signature has big flappy bunch of little samples, like sample card kind of thing, right? So you could push all these back and right in the middle, and then push them back in the middle like that. Lace-dyed paper and pages from the kit. Here's just a big tag that's got some clustering and some lace, some paper ribbon, or I mean fabric ribbon. Here's another one of those sample cards inside of a lace pocket, or I mean a fabric pocket with some more clustering on the side. Here's another tag that I turned into a tuck spot after I sewed a bunch of junk on it, and another one of those button cards. And then another long pocket and just a zhuzhed up tag with a bunch of the same old stuff on there, right? Clustery, fabric-y stuff. Here's a nice big fabric pocket, and it's got a tag in it that has another fabric pocket and a little tag on top with some labels and fabric stuff. I tried to pick background papers that kind of reminded me of fabrics as well. And I've rounded the corners of everything. And I distressed the edges of all of the papers. So everything's been inked. And then there's some more fabric. Here's another little bundle of fabric under this one that you could cut up and use. Or just leave. A corner tuck, top tuck. Here's another little flip and a tag that's attached in there with just a bunch of cluster. I love the pages of it. I mean, this is what really inspired me, right? So it's like notes and then little scraps of paper, different fabrics, and they're not cut nicely. They're kind of jagged edges and stuff. That's what I was going for. I was trying to recreate the pages of this onto the pages of the journal itself. Here was a nice big long one. That must have been a really colorful fabric. So I layered that up and made a big belly band. And then here we've got this tag full of a bunch of labels and fabric scraps, samples. Another little, some more numbers. That's a beautiful fabric right there. And then here we've got a little tiny tag that comes with the kit. And then this is like an envelope thing that came with the kit. So I turned it into just kind of a hidden tuck spot. It's an envelope, but instead of enclosing it as an envelope, I just put some fabric on there and tucked it away. And then here's a fabric flip. I had one piece of this like kind of toile looking fabric, so I needed to feature it however I could. I had one little scrap of it from somewhere, probably a quilter's leftovers. Nice big strip there. Another one of the pockets with a cluster and an inventory tag. Another little sample here. But these tickets and these button cards come with the kit, so that's there. And then this is another altered paper clip. Sorry about my phone dinging. And another tag that I collaged on. Some measuring tape paper. More fabric. Another little sample up here. And another little sample down here in the center of that signature. Another one of the sample cards. And in this pocket, there are a couple more little pieces tucked in. It says Fabric Swatches, which is the name of the kit. The names of her kits and the links to her shop and everything will be in the description below. So be sure to check it out. It's a gorgeous kit. And if you've got a bunch of little fabric scraps, this is a great kit to mess around with. There's another inventory tag in there and cluster on the front of that pocket and down here. And the back is another one of these quilted fabric corner pockets and another button card. And then another just little, you know, sewn scrap of fabric detail. And there's my maker mark. So yeah, there you go, guys. Look at that yumminess. Oh, this was fun. Ripping and shredding and, and cutting, you know, had my pinking shears out and cut a ton of little scraps of fabric from my scraps of fabric. So anyway, guys, this will be in my shop at the time that I post my video. If it's not there, then it's probably sold. But I appreciate you guys looking. And like I said, this is a Tracie Fox design team project. So definitely check out the Tracie Fox links below if you are interested in this kit or any of her other kits, because honestly, everything she does, I'm a huge fan of. I don't think she's ever made anything that I said ick to. So I might be biased, but I might not be. It's just pretty fantastic. So go check her out and check this book out. Thanks for hanging out with me for just a few minutes today to flip through this. I appreciate it. The details of how many pages and the actual measurements will be on the Etsy listing. And until I see you guys next time, have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is, whenever you're watching this, on whatever side of our fantastic globe that you live on. And until I see you next time, take care. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless. Bye, guys.